The room went still. No cheers, just that sticky, uncomfortable quiet. Harry looked for a lifeline. None came. Eyes dropped. Smiles froze. You could almost hear the air leave. Clips spread within hours, fueling whispers. Timelines flooded, then receipts, then think pieces. But the audio wasn't the problem. It wasn't the mics. It was the moment, the pause, the faces, the allegedly frosty energy that reportedly told its own story. If you blinked, you missed the tiny head shake, the delayed clap, the sidelong glance. And that's what had everyone talking. We need to unpack what happened, why it landed like that, and who reportedly wasn't having it. Quick subscribe so you don't miss the breakdown. All right, picture the room first, because the vibe was the headline before the headline. A high-dollar charity forum in Los Angeles, all gloss and soft lighting, valet lines looping around luxury SUVs, and a step and repeat that wouldn't quit. Inside, donors in tailored navy, veterans in crisp dress, and industry sponsors with glossy decks all shoulder to shoulder, murmuring, clock-watching, networking, sipping, scanning the seating chart like it was the stock market. Cameras tucked along the walls, cons teens in headsets, and that warm LA hum that whispers opportunity. Harry was the marquee name, the one everyone came for, billed to deliver this leadership piece tied to service, legacy, and purpose. And you could feel the expectation like an electrical charge. Weeks of PR had primed it, reportedly with teaser clips, friendly features, and calendar nudges that made this feel less like a talk and more like a moment. The room was primed for a breakthrough line, a new initiative, maybe a partnership reveal, something sticky and shareable. The MC kept it tight, the applause cues were crisp, and you could tell the production budget was not shy. Veterans got front-of-house respect, donors got the good seats and the discreet back door, sponsors held court in clusters, all smiles, all data points. You had the kind of guest list that makes publicists breathe into a paper bag. And every table had that mix of philanthropy heart and corporate polish. Think purpose meets playbook. Whispers floated that the remarks would lean into service as leadership as service, and the bridge between lived experience and scalable impact, reportedly framed with personal reflection and a forward-looking call to action. So yes, expectations were sky high, fueled by the build-up and the booking. And the room was ready for a quote to tattoo on a tote bag and a slide to anchor next quarter's pitch deck. Here's the first drop. I watched the full-length attendee recording, like the raw, no-cuts version, and those applause markers are sparse. You get a sprinkle, then silence, then another small pop, and the waveform is basically a flat line between bits, which is not ideal. The schedule adds a wrinkle, because it reportedly notes his segment got cut 5 minutes early, which, if true, screams, we're moving on. Then there's the internal note. An organizer email allegedly called the delivery flat and over-rehearsed, the kind of phrasing you use when you're being polite but firm. Put together, it reads like a flop. Lukewarm room, early wrap, box ticked. Except the second angle changed everything. A balcony phone clip, synced later by nerds with time codes, apparently catches laughs and claps the first feed barely registered, because the house mix rode his mic hot and crowd mics low. You can hear the swell on the punchlines. You can see pockets standing near the aisles. The camera pans and there's a wave from the back that the front cam never shows. Even the early exit looks different. From this angle, it seems like he hits a planned button, nods to stage left, and hands off to a demo team already queued. So the schedule cut may just be an on-the-fly swap to keep a sponsor block on time, reportedly. Does that erase the email? No, but it reframes the vibe. Not a room asleep, maybe a room under-mic'd and a speaker leaning safe. So the first pass says meh, the second pass says mixed, and now the question shifts from bad talk to bad capture, which for reputation matters a lot. Okay, let's clock the pattern because it's giving polite nods no spark, and that's what people reportedly felt at those recent speeches. Claps on cue, but not that buzz that lingers in the hallway. The UN address and the panel chats, same vibe. Per attendees and clips circulating, a room that listened, respected, and then checked their phones. Comment sections allegedly flagged a lecture vibe over connection. Not hostile, just distant, like the message lived on paper more than in the room. And before anyone panics, breath, because history isn't destiny. And a chill room today doesn't lock the next one tomorrow. This is fixable with tweaks, not an identity crisis. Lean into stories, not stats. Open with one human scene, one name, one image, then widen out. Keep the beats short, one idea per breath. Land it, pause, eye contact, then move. Vary the music of the voice, soft, then punchy. Say the quiet part kindly. Ask a real question and wait. Bring the audience in with a quick show of hands, a tiny live poll, a turn to the person next to you moment. Swap a 12-minute block for 3 crisp 3-minute arcs. Cut one abstract noun for a verb you can see. In panels, share oxygen. Ask the other speaker something generous, then build on their answer, because chemistry plays better than credentials. At the UN-style podium, try one unexpected bridge line, something like, "Let me put numbers aside and tell you what a nurse told me yesterday." So the room recalibrates. Close with a doable action and a date, not just hope. And if the comment sections are reportedly calling lecture, reply with a Q&A clip that laughs, listens, and learns. The pattern isn't a verdict, it's a rehearsal note. Take it, tune it, and watch the temperature rise. So here's the whiplash. The official recap gushes about a warm reception and even a standing ovation. But the full room video shows a brief, hesitant clap, then hands back on laps, eyes wandering, and a lot of stillness. That doesn't scream ovation, right? Now, a source insists the hush was respect, not rejection, which could be true in some settings. Some rooms do ritual quiet. Certain protocols ask guests to hold applause. Translators need gaps, and high-profile spaces sometimes favor decorum over cheer. All fair, reportedly. But if that's the case, why did faces look strained? Maybe the lights were harsh and people were squinting. Maybe the AC was freezing. Maybe it was late and everyone was tired. Could be the teleprompter hiccuped and created an awkward pause. Could be the mics dampened audience sound so the room felt muted on camera. Could be cultural differences about when to clap. Or the crowd was mixed with staff and security, who rarely emote. Also, warm reception is press release boilerplate. It often means polite, not wild. And standing ovation can be a moment when some stand to reposition, or a pocket of VIPs rises then sits, which gets recapped as the whole room. That's been alleged in other events, reportedly. Edits matter too. A tight cut can make a brief pop read bigger, and a wide shot can make a supportive moment look smaller. It's possible there was a legit swell earlier or off camera that the wide angle misses. It's also possible the recap leaned optimistic, not unusual. Both can be true, respectful quiet and mild applause in the room, and a write-up that frames it as glowing. Until raw, continuous footage emerges, we're left with vibes versus verbiage, and the vibes on video feel polite at best, not the thunder the caption promised. Here's the moment the room tilted. He leaned into the mic and dropped, "Service defines us." And you could feel the air pinch. Not just polite coughs, actual shoulders tightening. Cameras caught a few visible winces in the front rows. Veteran tables reportedly exchanged glances. That quiet, "Are we really doing this?" look. The band held. The applause sign flickered. Then the prompter hiccuped. Dead air. Blink, scroll, reset. He tried to vamp, then stopped, then restarted the line. Twice, which only made the phrasing sound more packaged. You could allegedly see a floor producer wave for time, and that's when the spiral began. Instead of pivoting out, he doubled down on the slogan language, stacking buzzwords like sandbags. Long pause. Smile that didn't reach the eyes. Another reset. People began checking their programs. A couple of heads down, reported texts firing off. The veterans stayed composed, but that side-eye, it was there. And what came next is what lit the fuse. A polished tagline dropped over a montage cue, almost ad-like, inviting the room to echo it back. Some did, many didn't. The call and response landed uneven. A few claps, then silence, then a late swell, the kind that feels coached. Online, clips of that exact beat started to circulate within minutes, and the captioning lag made the quote read harsher than it sounded. That's the instant the backlash found its screenshot. Not a scandal, a moment. But timing and tone can do more damage than any single sentence. And this one, allegedly, checked both boxes. PR teams reportedly started drafting lines before dessert. By the time the house lights rose, you could feel that cautious post-gaffe shuffle to the exits. In other words, the flashpoint had found its frame. Fallout hit fast, and it hit loud. Overnight chatter turned into receipts, And by morning, a hashtag about the silence trended across feeds, reportedly pushed by stan accounts and a few watchful industry voices who clipped the awkward gag and looped it. PR moved just as quickly. They posted a tight edit that spotlighted the loudest claps and the brightest smiles, trimming the dead air so the storyline played like a win. That cut felt strategic. Crisis playbook energy, amplify applause, minimize mess, and reset the vibe before lunchtime. Brands clocked it too. Two sponsors quietly pulled social tags from the recap, allegedly for brand safety optics, swapping in generic copy that said a lot without saying anything. No statement, just a soft retreat. Fans noticed. Screenshots flew. Some said the fix was fair. Others said it read like revisionist sparkle. Both can be true. What really raised eyebrows was the timing. The silence trends. The glossy cut drops. The tags disappear, and suddenly, insiders whisper about a calendar move. Speculation is that an image reset is underway before a new project announcement. Maybe even a rollout that benefits from a scrubbed first page of search. Could be coincidence, could be chess. If it's chess, the board looks like this. Mute the negative keyword, give algorithms a new hero clip, calm the sponsors, and line up a fresh headline for week's end. If it's coincidence, then wow. The alignment is wild. Either way, the mood is cautious. People are waiting to see if the next post matches the new tone or breaks it. And they're watching the comments. If they stay open, confidence rises. If they lock, well, that says its own quiet thing. Was this respectful quiet or a message sent? You tell me. The Zide felt careful, maybe reportedly strategic, but we'll see. Next stop, Vancouver, Whistler, Invictus Events will test the room. New eyes, new mics, less control, allegedly. We'll track invites, edits, and who shows up. Who gets seated where? Who gets cropped later? Stick around. The unedited clips tell a different story. We'll compare the official cut to raw angles, timestamps, and all. If the tone shifts, we'll clock it. If it's just respectful quiet, we'll say that too. Either way, the tea is brewing and we're pouring when the next clip lands.